Welcome to On Topic. I'm Jennifer Fuller. Spring training is over. That means things are getting underway for Major League Baseball, and the same could be said for Illinois politics as we've completed the primary in 2018 and are headed toward the November general election. To talk about that, we have the host of Illinois Lawmakers, Jak Tichenor. Jak, thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
So we saw big news come out of the primary election earlier this month.
I was struck by the sheer numbers. Over 1.2 million Democratic voters voting in the race for governor compared to just over 703,000 Republicans in the Rauner-Ives contest, meaning over 500,000 more Democrats turned out to vote for governor than Republicans. J.B. Pritzker, of course, won 45% of that Democratic vote in a six-way contest, picking up over 573,000 votes compared to Bruce Rauner's just more than 361,000 votes. So Pritzker captured well over 200,000 more votes than Rauner did against Jeannie Ives. Biss and Kennedy, of course, also tallied up over 300,000 votes each in the Democratic primary. So clearly, there was some big Democratic turnout.
A lot of people really expected there to be Democratic turnout. It's a mid-year election. Sure. But how did things look on the Republican side of the ticket?
Well, Rauner beat Jeannie Ives by roughly 3%. That's an extremely thin margin for an incumbent governor running against someone who was really barely only known outside of her state representative district in the Wheaton area a few months ago. Now remember, going back to 2014, Bruce Rauner also had a very close Republican primary. He was leading in that contest by double digits, and then that gap really narrowed, and he just squeaked out a victory in that primary between Kirk Dillard and Bill Brady.
We hear from experts all the time, including former Paul Simon Public Policy Institute Director Mike Lawrence, that Illinois politics is a two-step.
Yeah, it is. You have to win that March primary to get into the big game in November. Rauner apparently spent too much time focusing on J.B. Pritzker in hopes of running against, let's say, Dan Biss or Chris Kennedy in that general election.
We turn over the calendar into April, head towards November. What happens next?
Well, signing that abortion bill earlier in the year caused a deep fracture in Bruce Rauner's Republican base with social conservatives. The question now is, do they come back to Bruce Rauner in November, given the size of that Democratic turnout, or do they stay home amid signs of a strong potential wave for Democrats in the presidential midterms? Rauner has really got to make his case with downstate voters who flocked to Jeannie Ives, as well as suburban voters to stay with him in November to actually to close the deal in November.
We'll certainly keep an eye on that. I'm sure we'll be talking about this in the months to come.
Oh, I know we will.
Jak, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
I'm Jennifer Fuller. This is On Topic.